Today I will be talking to you on a very not very well known subject in the mainstream media. Long ago, in the wake of writing my first book, The Power Unknown to God, my Guruji has directed me to write another book with the concept that is there any what do you call standard universal alphabet, call it standard universal language, or call it a kind of something like a kind of a coded language, or call it a code for that matter, the basic fundamental code in the entire cosmos. Now this has put me on a journey of self-inquiry for the last you can say more than 10 years. I published my book, but I'm still not satisfied, of course. The book was published under the title The Illusion. Although I tried to propose the theory, to be frankly speaking, I myself not satisfied still. So I will keep updating the book in the future also. I'll publish the new editions. But generally, I have tried to nail down the entire theory like this, which I will be now today talking to you. Now the concept is, before the creation began, there was absolute void, absolute vacuum, call it. And from the absolute vacuum or the void, if you want to call it as God or the universal soul or the divine, is any other name for that. Means the void itself is the divine, invisible form or unmanifested form. From this unmanifested void, what that emerged first is the sound Om. The sound Om as per the Sanskrit text. But the sound Om, initially it was merged with the universal soul, but in unmanifested form. By the time the sound manifests from the unmanifested state, it undergoes 3 more stages. Initial one, unmanifested form, we call it Para. And there is yet another unmanifested form again. It is called Pashyanti. And the third state is called Madhyama. And then finally, the audible sound. We call it as the state of Vaikhari. So Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vaikhari are the 4 states in which the sound exists. Now here is the crucial thing to understand. First, the Brahman or the Parabrahman, or the, you can say the universal soul, he became Shabda Brahma or the Shabda Brahman. He assumed the form of sound, or call it God manifested with the sound body. And from there, when he finally manifests into the state of Vaikhari, means sound, as like I am speaking, you are able to hear it. When someone can hear the sound, now it has become very gross. And it so happened that the sound has assumed 50 more forms. As per the ancient Sanskrit texts, the sound assumes 50 more forms, or call it, to better understand it, let's say the sound has been broken up into 50 pieces rather. Since the energy can't be broken, so we take it that it is different modifications of the sound. These 50 are the other than the nothing but the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. So, letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. Now each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet is got a it's a mantra by itself. We call it a seed mantra also. It's a mantra by itself. Now, as per the anatomy, tantric anatomy of the human body, these 50 letters are distributed among the 7 chakras. Rather, the first 6 chakras itself, all the 50 letters are distributed, and in the final last chakra, that is Sahasrar chakra, the 50 letters are multiplied by 20 times. That's how we have 1,000 petals to the chakra. That means 1,000 letters are distributed. On each petal, one letter is imprinted, you can call it. Now, this is called Shabda Prapancha, or the world of sounds. From the unmanifested form within the spirit, after undergoing through various stages, when it has finally manifested in the state of Vaikari, it is also assumes 50 different forms and distributed all along the cerebrospinal structure. Now, this is crucial to understand. Why we are calling it as Shabda Prapancha? Because there is a parallelly another Prapancha which is being called or created, is called Ardha Prapancha, or the world of things. So now we have 2 parallel worlds. One is the world of things, another is the world of sound. Simultaneously they are created, because it is something like Ardha Prapancha is the world of things, is like hardware composed of, I will come to that little later, and of course the world of sounds, or the Shabda Prapancha, is like the software which has been developed, and the software happens to be in the universe, it happens to be in the form of sound. It is a completely system of sound. And from the letters, the 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, we form various permutations and combinations and mix them up, and we have words, and we have sentences, and whatnot. So, as per this theory, the Sanskrit word letters which have been distributed on various chakras. For example, I will give you the example of one chakra so that you will get the insight. If you want information, you can find it out from the internet. If you take the root chakra, the first chakra, there are 4 petals to the root chakra. On each 4 petals, one letter has been imprinted. Ya, Ra, La, and Va. These are the sound bodies, you can call it. In my first book which I have written, The Power Unknown to God, I have written about it in detail. If any one of you still want to know more about it, you can go through that book again. So that's how the letters are distributed. This means there is it is leading to some other a mind-boggling phenomena. Now each chakra is also associated with one element. As you know, there are 5 elements in the cosmos, although the modern science doesn't admit. It admits only 3 states of the matter, that is solids, liquids, and gases. It doesn't admit fire as the element, and of course it doesn't admit the ether also as the element. See, here we are not talking about elements here, sorry, the state of matter here. We are talking about, in Sanskrit they call it tattva. When we say solids, it is the principle of solidity, or the prithvi tattva. Similarly, when we say the principle of liquidity, we call it as Jala Tattva. Then the fire is called as Agni Tattva. And then we have Vayu Tattva, that is the wind. And finally we have Akash Tattva, that is the state of ether. It's supposed to be the primordial form of the matter, which is present everywhere in the cosmos. Now, all these 5 tattvas or the 5 elementals, they have been associated with one of the seed mantra again. For example, the fire element is there. The fire is associated with the letter Ram or AM, Ram. Similarly, if you see the Manipura chakra is also associated with the fire element, and it is also associated with the letter Ram. Similarly, if you see the root chakra, it is associated with the seed mantra Lam, Lam, Lam. And it is also associated with the principle of solidity or Prithvi Bhutatva. So you see, the Bhutatva, which with like the human body is also made of all these 5 elements, and the world all around us, outside world, external world, is also made of these 5 elements. But then human body is made of 3 more things besides the 5 elements, which the gross world around us is not made of. What are those 3? Intellect, called subconscious mind, egoism, and the conscious mind. Subconscious mind, conscious mind, and the intellect. Sorry, egoism. But intellect and egoism are co-located in a higher plane, and below that is the conscious mind. So you add these 3 things to the 5 elements, we have total 8. As Lord Krishna says in the great Sanskrit text Gita, the entire Maya which a human being experiences is composed of only these 8 things. Maya has got just 8 things. Now everything ought to fit into this. Now remember, everything in the sense other than the spirit, which we don't know what is our divine nature is all about. The world as such, as we know it, the cosmos as we know it, it got to be composed of only these 3 things as per the, not 8 things as per this teaching. Intellect, egoism, mind, and the 5 elements. Please keep this thing at the back of your mind, otherwise you may get confused in getting the overall picture. So now, when the creation is taking place, when the spirit is manifesting as a human being, there are 2 things happening: Shabda Prapancha, Ardha Prapancha. And both are integrated in the human being, in the human body. That is crucial thing to understand. The outside world is there, like mountains, rivers, you have deserts and all that. The outside world which you see, you call it as nature, is separate. The body, but the body, human body is also composed of all the same 5 elements. But this Shabda Prapancha which we are talking about is integrated specifically with the human body, because the reason is each of these seed letter is representing something, the external phenomena also here. Now if you see, if you observe carefully, as a baby is born, when a human being is born, there is a mantra for everything. By a mixture of these Sanskrit letters and by a combination of these Sanskrit words, you form various sentences, or call it as verses. You develop, since ancient times, various mantras have been developed for everything. Right from the time a baby is born, when baby goes to school, or when the baby, or before that, when the baby it is taking the first meal food. For everything there is a mantra. At the time of marriage, at the time of death, at the time of entering a new home, or at the time of doing beginning of any business, there is a mantra for every god and goddess by permutation and combination of these letters. And as you all know, for thousands and thousands of years in India, this system was in vogue. Mantra was extensively used even today. Everywhere mantra is used. So the entire science of Mantra Shastra itself has been developed purely for the materialistic benefits of the mankind. It doesn't, mantra is not giving you moksha here. Please understand it. It is like any other science, only a sophisticated form of science, which the modern science is yet to discover. Then why, if it had been followed from thousands of years, what happened to that knowledge? We don't know. It must have been lost for a period of time. I was seeing a video recently. I think someone is trying to develop a technology wherein by using the sound wave, in low frequency sound wave, the sound wave is low frequency, it is not audible, mind you. It is below 20 hertz. It is no longer audible. But by increasing the intensity of the sound wave, by sending that sound wave, they are trying to extinguish a flame, a fire. Because when the sound wave hits the fire, it cuts off the, I think, oxygen around it, and the fire vanishes. When I was watching the video, it was appearing like a miracle. How someone, without even making any contact, without spraying anything over the fire, invisible form, the sound wave has gone, the sonic boom rather, has gone and hit the fire, raging fire, and the fire has vanished. Small fire, not a big fire. They are, I think, probably still experimenting with it. So that's what I mean. That is the profound impact of sound on the human mind as well as the nature outside. We keep hearing the stories how when music is played, you have a good crop, how trees, some plants grow well, and you also know how animals get attracted to some music. So you see, music has a profound impact on the both human mind as well as the outside, means the audible sound itself. Now think of what all miracles it could be performing. Just like I was giving you the example of that sonic boom, the sonic boom going and extinguishing the fire. What if when we advance further and develop technologies wherein we are able to use this sound energy in inaudible form? I'm not talking about the manifested sound. In a kind of a unmanifested form, that is low frequency waves. When we learn how to handle those waves, God knows what all technologies we may be able to develop in future. So probably Mantra Shastra was based on this principle only. But then it is leading to a mind-boggling conclusion here. Is the Sanskrit alphabet, or the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, are the fundamental codes in the cosmos. That means each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet is like a code with sound body. It is like a code with a sound body, and by permutation and combination of the sound bodies, we are creating everything. We are impacting the external world and also the physical phenomena and also the psychological phenomena. Just imagine when the Bija mantra of goddess Saraswati, the goddess of intellect, we call it as Aim. It is one of the letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. When the seed mantra Aim is invoked, the intellect is supposed to become more sharp. Means the mantra is impacting the psychic phenomena and also the physical phenomenon. Someone is starting a new business, he invokes the mantra of goddess of wealth, Dhanalakshmi. People worship the goddess and invoke the mantra. So it is impacting the physical phenomenon. Now it is a different thing why mantra doesn't work for everyone. There are so many other issues involved here. First of all, the person who is doing it, whether he is doing it properly as per the procedure or not, that is also in question. That is meant for a different topic altogether. But this is what I wanted to discuss with you. If the Sanskrit language is the fundamental code or the software of the cosmos with which God has created the entire world, including the human body, that means it is a mind-boggling phenomenon. That means it is like, as I said, the world of sound or Shabda Prapancha is like acting like this software, and the Ardha Prapancha, the nature which has been created, is the hardware. It's like creating a computer. I think you will be able to understand it. You know that when you, let's say, a robot is been manufactured, without the inherent software, the robot will not function, right? The coded software has to be developed, a code has to be developed, AI, artificial intelligence has to be inserted into the robot, and of course you have the external body made of all the sensors and all that. Same is the case here. When the human body has been created by God, we have the external body made of the 5 elements of the nature. Then you have the 3 things: intellect, egoism, and of course the mind. Then beyond these 8 things, beyond these 8 things with which the human body has been constructed, is the spirit in unmanifested form at the core of every human being. And it's from that spirit that the sound body or the Shabda Brahman has emanated and got itself distributed into 50 forms in various chakras of the cerebrospinal system. As a result, at some point, a yogi, as he advances further on the path of yoga, when people say that the ancient sages, they used to develop supernatural powers, the ability to impact the external phenomena, physical phenomena, and also the psychic phenomena, where the power is coming from them. This must be the mechanism, the Shabda Prapancha, which has been inserted into the human body or meshed with the human body as it was manufactured. One day, at some stage, when the complete karma is neutralized, as the person realizes his own divine nature, his powers operates and impacts the external world and also the psychic phenomena in this manner. Otherwise, it's not possible. The existence of supernatural power which a person can exhibit, or the manifestation of the supernatural power or a human being, in theory, is not possible in any other way, and the only explanation is the distribution of these 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet along the cerebrospinal system. This is the mind-boggling conclusion if you extend this train of logic to its limits. So this is what I wanted to inform you all. I will talk to you more about this topic in the future videos, and I hope all of you could get some kind of information on this exotic topic of Shabda Prapancha, Ardha Prapancha, and probably it answers so many things. This theory, you apply it everywhere. Since ancient times, we keep talking about so many gods, goddesses, mantras, scriptures, we do worship of so many things, and the entire tantric rituals, various mantras used in various tantric rituals, and the modern science, everything falls into place. Just imagine the another. Before I conclude, I'll give you another example. Modern science has discovered the elements of the periodic table. You see, there are so many elements in the nature, and with the different atomic numbers starting from 1, and they, in a sequence, they managed to discover all the elements, and most of the elements they discovered in the periodic chart, they are all metals, and by a combination of these metals, various metals, how many new alloys are being developed, how many and so many new materials are being developed with with very different rare properties. We use those materials in when we send spacecraft to the spacecraft, rockets, and then various computers, high-tech gadgets. See, by combination of these metals, scientists have been developing it. So what mystery is there not to develop mantra shastra by using the sound bodies of the Sanskrit alphabet? You combine the various in the correct formula, in the correct proportions, and then uh, achieve at a particular formula of the mantras, so that it has an impact on some kind of a physical phenomena. So this is the best example to understand how these metals are combined, various various forms of elements are combined, and scientists manufacture. You have even lab grown diamonds nowadays, and diamonds can be grown in laboratory. God knows what all can be done with a combination of these sound bodies. So that is the food for thought for all of you. Wish you all the best.